Hey there, I'm Sharon Pope. I help women who are struggling in lonely and disconnected marriages get the confidence and clarity they need to either fix the struggles in their marriage or be able to move forward without regret. If you like what you hear, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. Decide to get married, it means they've chosen each other to spend the rest of their life together. But then, several years into the marriage, what started out as two people being inseparable now becomes incompatible. My name is Sharon Pope. I am a master life coach and a 7-time best-selling author on love and relationships. I help women who are struggling in their lonely and disconnected marriages get the confidence and clarity they need to either fix the struggles in their marriage or lovingly release it without regret. You can go to clarityformymarriage.com to explore if there's a fit for you and I to work together today. Talking about what it is that you're not saying as it relates to the troubles inside your marriage. I'm going to share with you a story about one of the members in my membership group. I'm going to call her Renee. That's obviously not her name. But she was sharing with me how there was a lot of tension that was existing between she and her husband. They had gotten into an argument several days ago on the way to their kids' baseball game, and they haven't spoken since. Now, the marriage has been on shaky ground for years, but it's never quite been this bad. And so that makes her scared to bring anything up because she's afraid it will cause an argument and it will just create more resentments between the two of them. Now, Renee is self-aware enough to know that she avoids conflict at all costs. She would prefer to ignore what's going on. She would pretend that she is unbothered, that everything is just fine. And she'd rather just suppress all of her feelings about what's happening in the relationship than have a real conversation around a difficulty inside the relationship. Now, all that avoidance isn't actually helping her because she doesn't get to express her perspective. She doesn't get to say how she feels. And she most certainly doesn't get to say what she needs inside of the relationship. And you know what that means? That means her husband has no idea how upset she is, how hurt she is, and how close she is to giving up on their marriage. And so by avoiding having these difficult conversations, Renee is actually sabotaging her relationship. You see, she gets to avoid a little bit of discomfort in the short term, but she is setting the marriage up for failure long term. Because here's the reality. If you can't express yourself in what is supposed to be your most intimate relationship, the marriage cannot thrive and it will never feel good for you. So she's essentially abandoning herself so that she can retain the marriage. And what will happen is that she's going to start to feel not so great about herself and how she's showing up. She's not going to feel powerful in her life. And because she's going to feel that disconnection of being able to express what's really bothering her, even though she knows she avoids conflict, she will still end up quietly resenting her husband, building up more and more and more resentments with him because she feels like it's his fault that she's not been able to express herself. So when we abandon ourselves in order to retain the marriage, that is never going to work. And when we don't say what needs to be said inside of the relationship, it creates a conflict within ourselves, right? So when we're upset, I know that the default reaction is just ignore it and pretend like everything is fine. But that's a lie, right? If there is tension in your marriage, then that means that there's a conversation that needs to be had. And so what is it that you're not saying? I want you to answer that question for yourself really and truly. What is it that you're not saying? And if you were to honor yourself, what needs to be expressed? I often tell my clients, look, you can have an uncomfortable conversation for, call it 30 to 40 minutes. Maybe it's 10 minutes, right? Maybe it's 60 minutes. You can have a conversation that feels uncomfortable for a few minutes, or you can have that kind of discomfort that you receive when you abandon or betray yourself for a lifetime. And that, my friends, is just a choice. If you like what you heard, I hope you will subscribe to the channel. Then I want you to go to clarityformymarriage.com. That's the place where you can find out about how to work with me and if there's a fit for us to work together. And if I can help you, I absolutely will invite you into our programs. If you like what you heard on this channel, I hope that you'll subscribe. Until next time, take good care.